hands. Bring your elbows underneath of you. And actually, let's bring the palms onto the face. Rather than that prayer, we'll just palm over the forehead and the eyes and the cheeks. And let the head rest in the hands. Allow yourself to continue to take these nice deep yogic breaths. Filling the belly, start to coordinate with the inhale and the exhale. And really feel that you're allowing the head to rest in the hands, softening in the back of the neck, the face, the jaw. Letting this very miniature back bend of a shape allow the chest to drop, the belly to drop. We're going to make a few sounds this morning, helping to clear any stagnant energy, any tough emotions that might be coming up just with the state of the world and everything that happens around us. Now let's check in and make sure our emotions are able to run freely through through their cycle. So we'll start by making the WHO sound for the next couple of breaths, inhaling through the nose and then blow it out. Try not to let any force come into the breath, just letting it go. One more time. And tune into that vibration of each of these sounds. Notice how that vibration of it feels in the body. For the next few breaths, make an SH sound. Just sort of a short little burst, expelling that SH. For your next couple of breaths, exhale with an HA. Again, tune into that vibration of the sound. And for your next couple of breaths, getting a little quieter, find your Ujjayi breath. Notice if any tension has come in. Let the head be held by the hands. Soften the back of the neck and the spine. And for your next few breaths, finding your S sound. This is a longer breath. Let it really draw out any tension. Notice the vibration. Let the head go. Let it be held. Let's do that one more time. And extend your arms and stretch them all the way forward, letting the head rest on the mat or, if needed, on a block. Walk your fingers as far forward as you can, stretching through the spine. And come back to your regular breath in and out through the nose. Draw the hips gently to the heels and let your head rock side to side. Come up onto the finger pads and lift your head, gaze forward. You can bat your eyes open, just awakening to this day, and walk your hands to the right side of your mat. Take a fold over the right knee, drawing hips to heels, let the forehead rest. Take a couple of breaths here. Notice where you can soften. And come back onto the finger pads, gaze forward, bat the eyes open, and walk around to the left side of your mat. Refold over the left knee, breathe into the right waist. Fanning open the ribs. And come back onto finger pads, bat the eyes open, walk back through center, and take one more stretch from the middle of your child's pose. Walk those hands as far forward as you can and let the head bow. One full breath in and out. Slide the hands back towards the knees as you come to sit on the heels in hero's pose. Let the head align over the heart and over the hips. And we're going to do our wake up routine here in hero's pose. So make sure you feel comfortable enough to stay here. Maybe bring a block under the seat, or if this is just really not comfortable, come to a cross-legged seat. Find your collarbones, drop right below them into the hollows. We'll begin to deepen the breath as we tap onto the end of the kidney meridian. Let the arms relax, feeling that shake, that little jiggle through the arms. Down to the center of the chest, or the sternum, for the thymus thumb. Feel your shoulders drawing back gently. Keep a broadness across the chest. A deep flowing breath. To the side seam of the body, the end of the spleen meridian, in between the ribs. Open the chest, draw the shoulders and elbows back. And then lift your gaze a little bit. Let's find a little shining heart here as we tap. Shake out the arms and the hands. One more tap lightly on the cheekbones, right below the center of the eyes. Breathing out through the mouth and letting this tap ground you into your seat. And connect to the earth. Continue to tap all around the eyes. Noticing if there's any tender spots, any spring allergies that you're feeling here through the sinus pressure. Spend a little extra time there. If you do, you could massage instead of tap. Coming back around to the cheekbones. And when you finish your next exhale, let the hands come down to the thighs. Take a couple small shoulder rolls here up towards the ears and letting the shoulder blades run down the back. Switch the direction up towards the ears and forward. And then find that space right in the middle. Letting the hands rest on the thighs. You can close your eyes and take a moment to turn your attention inward. Begin to allow a word or mantra that can be your intention or your guiding word through this practice today. Let that start to come to you. You don't necessarily have to know what that is right away. Just open up the doorway, open up the door and let that word of higher vibration, that word that will inspire you, start to come in. Then open the eyes, deepen the breath. Inhale, right arm comes up. And exhale, drop it to the thigh. Inhale, left arm up. And drop it to the thigh. One more time each way. Inhale, out through the mouth. Inhale, and let it go. Find your cactus arms. Reach out through the elbows. Inhale. Cross crawl. Exhale. Opposite hand to thigh. And then find the pattern with your breath and movement. A little hug in the belly to keep integrity through the spine as you twist. It can be a little more expansive now, taking up more space, maybe a little deeper twist. It might feel that the motion slows down as you expand. spine. One more breath. Bringing both hands in front of the pubic bone. Let's turn in again to that intention or the mantra for today. And just for today, we don't have to think past the today or necessarily even past our practice. Just allow one word to guide you through these next 50 minutes. Then when you're ready, inhale, zip that straight up the body. Exhale, flip the palms and press it out into your space. 2 more times. Inhale, drawing that up. And exhale, press it out into your field. One more time. Inhale, zipping it up, pulling it up. And pressing it all out and around you. Bring your middle finger to your belly button, the other middle finger to your third eye. Press in, draw up. And breathe out through the mouth. 2 more times. Inhale, drawing up. And breathing out. Let's take actually a few more breaths here today with our hookup. And just find the pattern for yourself. Fullness of breath. Release, hands come to thighs. Take a moment to quiet the breath. Notice how you feel emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Allow yourself to just be here for a moment, be here with your intention. We'll start to move a little bit more here. So let's give the head a little scrub. Let's wake up all those points on the head. So it might feel as if you're shampooing and just noticing if there's any tender spots and giving it a little extra scrub or massage. Maybe you don't find any tender points and you can just be really grateful that all these points on the head are flowing, energy's flowing through them, and not really noticing anything stuck. You can start to appreciate that sensation as well. And then start to massage down the neck. So starting at the base of the head. So you'll push in on either side of the spine and then draw apart. And continue to do that down the neck, just opening up. When you get to the shoulders, give a squeeze here on the top, breathe in. And slide the hands down to the sternum, finding the ribs here, and do the same sort of motion. So right in between each ribs, press in and draw apart. Moving down one rib at a time, press in, pull apart. Noticing if there's anything that feels tender, giving it a little extra massage and rub to help clear that stagnant energy. And then right underneath of the breast, you can use your thumb and give a little scrub, kind of like the smiley face. And go a little lower then, underneath of the rib cage. Anytime you need it, breathing out through the mouth to help release. And reach around to your back. Using your thumbs, reach up as high as you can on either side of the spine, giving a little rub and pull apart from the spine. Move down one vertebra at a time, drawing the thumbs apart. Again, if there's any points that feel tender or giving you a lot of sensation, spend a little extra time there and help clear that stagnant energy. Make your way down with patience. Eventually coming towards the hips, all the way down to the tailbone. And then give a massage right here in the center of the glutes. You can press in with your fingers or your fists. And then reach up as high as you can and wash down the spine 3 times. On your next inhale, come up onto the shins and reach the arms overhead. Stretch out through the front of the hips. Exhale, sit back on the heels and bring your hands behind you. Inhale, lift the chest, open the shoulders and lift the chin. And then exhale, pull yourself right into child's pose or roll yourself right into child's pose. So the knees are a little closer here. If the head doesn't quite meet the mat, go ahead and bring a block or like a pillow right where your head lands so that you can come down onto that block next time. And we'll inhale again, using the core and the legs to sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, sit into hero's pose, hands come behind. Plant the palms, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, press into your fingers, roll the spine forward, child's pose. Inhale, lift onto the shins, reach the arms up. Exhale, hero's pose, hands behind. Inhale, lift up the chest, open shoulders. Exhale, press into finger pads, roll yourself forward into child's pose. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to the shins, touch the palms overhead. Exhale, hero's pose, hands behind. Press into the hands, lift the heart, back bend. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale, lift it up, touch all the finger pads together. Exhale, hands behind, sitting down to your heels. Inhale, open heart, back bend. Exhale, roll it forward, child's pose. Hold it here for just a moment, letting the arms relax. And if you have a block, you can move it out from under the head, reach your arms forward, cross your ankles, and sit into your Sukhasana, or easy seat. Take a little side bend here, left hand on the mat, inhale, right arm overhead, and we'll move with the breath. Exhale, right hand down, inhale, left arm up and over. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right arm up and over. Energize your hand. Let that energy run all the way through the fingertips. And one more time, lifting left arm overhead. Come through center. Extend your right leg down the mat. And we'll roll onto the inseam of the leg. Actually, sorry, I have that the wrong way. Extend the left leg down the mat. You're on your left hip. And then you'll step your right foot across it, like over top. So we're actually on the outer seam of that left leg. And then we're going to use our hands to walk around and try to face the front of the mat. You might not get all the way around into that twist, so just go to your extent, propping yourself up on the hands. It might feel a little tight, it might feel a little challenging to twist this way, but that's exactly where we're feeling that tightness is where we want to invite some space. So along that left hip and even maybe into that left waist and back, and opening up that whole line of energy down the left leg. Make sure that left leg is fully extended. And you can have your gaze down at the mat. And then connect to your breath here. If it's really tight in that left waist and hip, it might even feel challenging to breathe. We'll stay here for a few breaths and try to allow the body to soften as much as you can. See if you can let go in the hips, really soften through the body, allow the body to breathe. Try to take 2 more full breaths here. And then roll back onto your seat as you exit the pose, and we'll switch sides. So if depending how your mat is, you can either turn the other way or just roll to the other side, extending the right leg down. The left foot steps over top of it, and so you're resting on the outer seam of your right leg. And then propping yourself up on your hands and walking towards the short edge of your mat, sort of rotating the chest around. But just go to your extent. Again, we'll pause here and find our breath. If it feels good, maybe you want to find a little neck movement, just if you notice you're holding tension here. Let that right waist sink a little bit. You can let it really stretch all through that right rib cage. Let's take 3 more full and complete breaths here. Try to soften into the bones. Good. And then step your left foot over the right, releasing from the pose, and we'll come into tabletop. So as you come here, let your hips wag a little side to side, kind of C curve through the spine. And pause the movement and move through cow and cat. Inhale, belly lower. And exhale, round out the spine. Go through a few patterns of cow and cat. Connecting your movement to the breath. The next time you come through cat pose, complete that exhale and find your neutral tabletop, lowering down onto the forearms for a modified puppy pose. Balance on the elbows, bring the thumbs to the start of the eyebrows and hold your head. Thumbs pressing into the start of the eyebrows. Let the belly sink, let the heart sink down here. Turn your attention inwards. Just notice any sensation here as you hold the points under the thumbs. Then lower the forearms to the mat. Send your legs back and come into Sphinx pose. Elbows align under your shoulders. Integrate the shoulder blades on the back, anchoring down into the pubic bone and the tops of the feet, and then trace a line forward with your gaze as you press into the forearms and lift your chest. No need to force to any certain degree. Keep it gentle. Okay, just finding your edge and then playing with your breath here. If you'd like, you could take a gaze over both shoulders, finding a little rotation, or just breathe in center. Giving you room to explore how your body's feeling today and what you really need in your practice. Also, a good option here is maybe finding some neck rolls, so you could play with the sensation in the back of the neck if there's any tension there. And roll all the way down to your belly and extend your arms forward. Take a full stretch here. Imagine that you're swimming your feet, right? Reach those toes back. Hands are energized, reaching forward. Then pause the movement and just feel that full body stretch and extension, all the space through the spine as you breathe. Slide the hands back towards yourself as you lift up the head and the heart into seal pose. So the hands are still energized here, pressing into the mat or into the ground. One more breath in. And on your exhale, release the head down. Walk the hands to the outside of your mat in line with your shoulders and prop yourself onto fingertips. So the elbows are lifted, and we'll roll through a few cobras here. Inhale, press into those finger pads, lift up the heart, the head comes up last, and then exhale, roll it down. Do that a few more times on your own. Inhale through a cobra, exhale, roll it down. Anchoring into the feet, inhale, exhale. Once more. Bring hands under shoulders, hug the elbows into your ribs. Inhale, baby cobra, lift up the head and heart just a few inches. And if you'd like to add on to that, you can hover your hands. Just an option. Don't have to take that version, go to your extent. Maybe the support of the hands feels good today, and then you can tune into that strength of the arms. Lower the forehead down, crossing your hands as a little pillow for the head. Let your heels splay out, resting in crocodile pose. You can let your hips rock a little side to side, releasing any tension in the low back. Breathe in a way that feels good to you this morning. Remember your intention. Why do you show up to morning practice? Why are you here? Breathe in a way that supports that intention. Let the exhale fully release so you feel the weight of the body into the hands and into the mat. Repattern those habits of stress, of fighting, of running away, of freezing. Repattern that into a state of calm. Of being able to pause and respond. Bring your hands under the shoulders. We'll press up into tabletop. Align your knees under the hips, tuck your toes, and we'll find our first downward dog. So hands are spread wide, energetically pressing into the mat as you lift your hips. Bend your left knee, reach to the right heel. Breathe in and out. Switch sides, bend the right knee, reach through the left heel. And then just start to pedal the feet and move the body in any way that feels good to loosen up here in your downward dog. Such a great full body stretch and so many ways to move. So let yourself do that. Let yourself maybe even be a little creative in how you move, just exploring. As you pedal your feet, keep that walking motion as you come all the way forward to the front of your mat and come into a forward fold. You can hold on to opposite elbows, bend the knees as much as you need to this morning, and let the torso rock side to side. Nice deep yogi breaths. Let the head go. If there's tension in the spine, right, if you feel like tightness in the neck or the back or the legs, the body might respond with clenching, right? It might be like, oh no, we're too tight, we can't do this. But of course we can. So become aware of those reactions in the body. Tune into your breath, becoming really, really present with how the body responds to these sensations, and invite a new way to respond. Release the elbows, bend the knees a lot, bring the hands to the big toes, and we'll trace up spleen slowly, slowly. Patience as we rise. Inhale, sweep the hands back to the ankle bones and up the inseam of the legs. Take a few breaths as we do this, flaring out at the hips, come up to the shoulders, down to the side body and give a massage here in between the ribs. Let the blood rebalance as the head, heart, and hips stack. And release your hands into Tadasana. Bring your pinky fingers to the crest, the hip crest, and the rest of the fingers just kind of drape down into the hip crease. And we'll do what's called the ileocecal Houston valve clear. So really good for resetting the digestion. Press in, inhale, drag the hands up. Exhale, shake it off. So we're going from the crease of the hips to the bottom of the ribs. Do that 2 more times. Press in, inhale. Shake it off. 1 more time, inhale. And then we'll start at the top, right under the ribs. Press in, inhale. And slide those hands down, down, down. Shake off the hands. Belt flow, hands come to the left waist, glide them across the belly to the right waist. Swing the arms around and do that 2 more times. On this last one, go down the outside of the leg and off the pinky toe, and then trace up spleen. Inhale, sliding hands up inseam of the legs, all the way to shoulders, down to the ribs. Belt flow the other way, hands to right waist, slide them around to the left. Swing the arms around and do that 2 more times. On this last one, down the outside of the legs, off the pinky toe, and keep it low this time. Let the head go, bring the hands to the mat, and step your right foot back into a low lunge. Drop your right knee, right hand on the mat. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Begin to circle the left shoulder and arm, making big circles along the length of the body. Switch the direction of your circles. When the left hand comes overhead, flick each finger off the thumb. Take your gaze up, and then flick all the fingers off the thumb. Celtic weave. Make these big golden figure 8 shapes with your left hand as you trace down and frame the front foot. Bring your left hand to a gentle fist, and we're going to tap on the outside of the shin here. So about 4 fingers down from your kneecap, right from where your knee is, right where your pinky finger lands. We're going to use our fist and tap into the leg here. Stomach 36, helping us go that extra mile. Let's let that energy travel down through the legs. We were told in our training, a story they told us about this point is this actually, it used to be tested on people when they were going for long voyages or what's the word I'm looking for? Like a pilgrimage. If they wanted to go on a pilgrimage, they would test if this energy, if this was open, and if it wasn't, they weren't ready to go on that long trip or that long voyage. So we might find this is tender sometimes. Good point to activate when we're on the move. You can release from that tapping. Bring your hand to the inside of the leg, tuck your right toe and lift the knee. We're going to walk around to the long edge of the mat, pausing for just a moment in your wide leg forward fold. Then continue to journey to the back of your mat, coming into a low lunge on the other side. Drop the knee, left hand plants. Inhale, right arm comes up to a twist. Begin to circle, making 3 in this one direction. Take your time. Try to reach the outside edge of that circle. And then when the hand comes overhead, switch directions. When the hand comes overhead, lift up your gaze, maybe even lean back a little. Flick each finger off the thumb and flick all the fingers off the thumb a few times. Draw figure 8s all through this right side space, strengthening your aura, strengthening this outermost layer. Right hand comes down, frames the foot. Bring your right hand into a fist and find that stomach point, 4 fingers down from the knee, and again, begin to tap on the leg. Let yourself breathe and just be here with that vibration. Every once in a while, taking a nice deep breath out through the mouth to help release. Release from your tapping. Bring the right hand to the inside of the foot so you're in that lizard lunge. Tuck your left toes, lift the knee, and walk around to the long edge of your mat, pausing in the middle in a wide leg forward fold. Let the head go. Skandasana, or spider pose. Bend into your left knee, and walk the hands to the right side, bend into your right knee. Just go a little side to side here, finding your own pace. Then come through middle, let yourself fold. Make sure the outer edges of the feet are parallel with one another. Feel that you're lengthening the back sides of the legs, lifting the hips up and leaning forward into the head. So it might feel a little scary leaning into the head, might feel like you're going to tumble forward. So to help balance that, anchor into the legs. Press into the heels. Feel your quadriceps lift up and engage. Now press into your fingers. Lift the spine halfway up. Feel your belly button drawing in towards your spine to stabilize here. Bring one hand to your hip. A micro bend in the knees. Bring your left hand to your hip. Draw your elbows back and then lift all the way up here. Heel toe the feet just a little closer and sit into your goddess pose. Toes point out, knees point in the direction of the toes, and open up your arms. Feel your tailbone drawing down and broadness coming across the pelvis. Breathe. Straighten the legs, pivot those heels out so the toes point forward. Reach your arms all the way up, 5-pointed star. Hold it here, making a funnel with the arms. Take up all of your space. Heel toe the feet together, bring the palms together overhead. When the feet get underneath of your hips, draw your hands down towards center. Pause in Anjali Mudra with the elbows wide and tune in to the sensation between the hands. Remind yourself of your mantra or intention today, holding that at the center of your heart. Notice what it feels like to come into a place of calm, of stillness, even just for a moment. The more we practice this, hopefully we're feeling that we can tune into those sensations a little quicker. Maybe noticing a pulse between each finger pad as those energies connect. Maybe sensing a little space between the palms where we can hold our intention. It's the overall feeling. Release your hands down to the sides. We'll move through our 5-element flow. So we'll go back to those sounds that we did earlier and incorporate them into our movement. So coming down, you can face the front edge of your mat. I'm going to start this way so we can see better. And come into a squat, wrapping your arm around the shin and the other hand in front to support you. The first element of water and the sound, WHO. As you inhale, look down. And exhale, blow it out. Inhale, look down. And blow it out. Look for that vibration in the sound again. One more time. Release the hand from the shin, lift your hips, forward fold. Moving into the element of wood. This is the season that we're in. The sound for this is SH, and helping to release anger, to help move us into action. Anger is really destabilizing. So this is called expelling the venom, and we can think of just that as we go through this next practice. So let's start to weed the junk off of our yoga mat, and we can think of this as removing whatever we don't want to bring with us today, right? We're sort of like pruning the seeds that started to grow from the last season to this one. And then we'll grab up all of that junk. Inhale, stand up tall, reach the arms out and overhead. SH sound as you throw it down. It's like transforming that junk, recycling that. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And release. Again, inhale. Now grab hold of the biggest junk, the stickiest junk that's here. Inhale, sweep that out and overhead, and we'll stay standing. Press it down slowly. Moving into the element of fire. The sound here is HA. It's called bringing down the flame. So we'll seat that fire, we'll seat that anxiety or panic into the very base of the belly, right? So we start overhead and we end in the base of the spine. So we'll inhale, arms come overhead, tent the fingertips, exhale, thumbs to crown. Bringing down the flame. Inhale, arms out and around, thumbs in front of the eyes. Bring the thumbs to the third eye as you exhale. Sweep the arms out and around at the level of the heart. Exhale, thumbs to heart. Sweep arms out and around, thumbs coming to the belly button. Now seat the hands on the low belly and take 3 more breaths. Wrap the arms around the rib cage, giving yourself a hug. Tune into your Ujjayi breath and rock side to side for the element of earth. Feeding self-love and compassion and nourishment into the body here. On your inhale, sweep the arms overhead, hold the breath in and draw down 4 times from the heavens, whatever it is that you need. Sweep the hands behind the ears as you exhale. Arms come out and release into your forward fold. Step onto the base of the palms of the hands. And 3 times with the breath, inhale, pull up and away from the arms. Exhale, let yourself refold. Ujjayi breath, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Let the head go. Remove the hands from under the feet. We'll trace up spleen. Inhale, sliding up the inseam of the legs, flaring out at the hips, up to the shoulders, down to the side body. Moving into the last element of nettle, finding a series of back bends. Let your hands rest by the sides in Tadasana. The sound for this is S, a long S, really letting it draw it out. It's like you want to find the completion of that sound. Inhale, low back bend. Exhale, give somebody a hug. The fingers almost touch. Rounding the spine. Inhale to the height of the heart. Exhale. One more time overhead. Big back bend at the top. Inhale. Exhale, hands come together with that S sound. Slide the hands down the arms and land at the upper outer chest. Take 3 more breaths. Breathe into the belly and let it go. Let the hands rest on the thighs. Pause. Hands come into Anjali Mudra, space the feet just a little bit wider than the hips, connecting heaven and earth. On your exhale, sit into a squat. Inhale, one palm presses up, one palm presses down. Exhale through your squat, and inhale, stretch the other way. Do that a few more times on your own. Find the rhythm. Remember, a gaze can go up or down. Maybe you play with both or see what feels best today. Even out both sides. And the next time that you come to like a completed cycle, sweep the top arm down all the way into your forward fold and let yourself hang, sweeping fingers on the mat. Plant the hands, sit your hips down all the way to your seat. Bring your feet together into cobbler's pose. Let your fingers rest at the down slope of your big toe mound. So you feel that big toe mound, and then right where it starts to like meet your arch, and the thumbs resting right behind the ankle bones, in that soft spot behind the ankle bones. Kidney, spleen, source points. So we'll just let our hands rest here gently and see if we can tune into the pulse or sensation under the fingers. You can start with your spine lifted, letting those hips start to open, connecting to your breath here. If you'd like, you could start to fold. Inviting these points to synchronize and nourish the spleen and kidney organs. Keep letting yourself fold and soften. Breathe and tune in. Full yogic breaths. Now press into the hands to lift the head back up. Use your thumbs to massage the base of the foot in between the big toe and the second toe. So this is the start of the kidney meridian, where we're drawing energy up from the earth. And then we'll trace kidney all the way up to where we tap under the collarbones. So you can let your hands rest right on that point you were massaging, and then trace back towards the ankle bones. Make a circle around the ankle bone. Come up the inseam of the legs, and then straight up the core of the body until you get to those points under the collarbones, and give a little massage here. Breathe in and out through the mouth. Now reach your arms all the way up and flick your fingers overhead. Hands come down to the knees and bring the legs together. Wrap one arm around the waist, holding onto that spleen point we've been massaging. The other hand comes around and holds above the outside of the elbow. And we'll move as slowly as we can. We're not going to do a series of sit-ups today. We're just going to roll ourselves down. But go slowly, slowly. If you feel like you start to lose control, re-engage, and then continue to lower. Try to keep the feet on the mat. You might start to shake. All of that's good. And eventually coming all the way down to the back, and walk your feet in close for a bridge pose. Hands by your sides. Let's move the arms with the hips. Inhale, lift hips, lift arms, take a big stretch. Exhale, lower hips, lower arms. 2 more times. Extend the legs down your mat. Wiggle the hands underneath of your backside and draw the elbows underneath of you. We're coming into fish pose. Press into your forearms, into the elbows, lifting up from the center of the chest and rolling onto the crown, or a little bit back from the crown of the head. So opening up through the chest and the throat. Let's find our breath here. Press into the forearms, release the head, rolling back down. And we'll clear the channels through the throat. So associating with each of the chakras, this is like the sorting hat for our chakras, determining where things will land. I'm going to sit up, so if you need to glance up, you can. We'll use our 2 peace fingers and come to what you'd consider to be the Adam's apple, the center of the throat. And then gently pressing in and sliding 2 fingers up towards the chin and 2 fingers down to the throat. So stretching the throat. Let's move an inch to the left. Actually, let's go to the right first. And press in and do the same thing here, drawing up towards the jawline and down towards the collarbone. Move an inch to the right, press in and draw apart. And then one more time to the right, move an inch to the right, press in and draw apart. So you should be about at the edge of the jaw and the edge of the collarbone. And then go back to center, right over the trachea. Stretch the throat. Move an inch to the left, so you're right on the side of the trachea. Press in and draw apart. 1 inch to the left, start at the middle of the throat, press in and draw the fingers apart. And one more time to the left, press in and draw apart. Then we'll come into our fish pose one more time. So slide those hands underneath of you. Wiggle the elbows underneath of you. The chest starts to open naturally as you do that. Press into the elbows, lift up onto the crown of the head, and take 3 breaths here. Letting that energy travel freely between the heart to the head, allowing us to communicate freely. Press into the elbows, release the head, roll all the way down. Draw your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a hug. You can rock a little side to side if that feels good. Release the feet down, arms come into a T. Bump your left hip to the center of the mat. Draw the knees towards the chest and roll to your left into a twist. Extend the right leg out to the side, holding behind the crease of the knee. Let your gaze roll to the right, shoulder blades on the mat for 3 breaths. Rebend the right knee, roll back to center. Bump the right hip to the middle of the mat. Knees come into the chest. Roll the knees to the right. Extend your left leg out to the side, holding behind the crease of the knee. Take your gaze to the left. Encourage shoulder blades to meet the mat. And find 3 more breaths here. Soften where you can. Allow your body to receive that fullness of your attention. Focused breathing. Each time that we practice that focused breath, that present breath, we're training ourselves, training our minds and our bodies and everything to be here. So no matter what we're doing, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, or any kind of work that we do through the day or activity, we can have that same presence. We can tap into the breath anywhere. We can tap into the sensations of the body anywhere. Bend the left knee, bringing yourself back to the center of the mat and realign your hips. And extend the legs. Let's pause in Shavasana for a little moment and let everything sink in. You can take a big breath out, letting yourself settle into the mat. If you want any props, feel free to use them here. I'm going to give you an option for placing the hands in your Shavasana today. So, and relating these to maybe some of the emotions that might be surfacing a lot, or those sounds that felt really good, that can be an indicator of what emotion might need some help processing and moving. So if you felt that WHO sound, the element of water, maybe feeling fear or wanting to tap into your courage, if you've been noticing that's really strong or calling out to you, place one hand on your forehead and one hand at the base of the head. And if you find any of these holds, you can let your head roll to the side to let the elbows rest. If you found that the fire element, that HA sound, was feeling really important today, or you've been noticing any panic or anxiety, keep the one hand on the forehead and the other hand comes right behind the eyes on the back of the head. If you've been noticing that the metal element, the ability to let go, could use some strengthening or balancing, if that S sound was really calling out to you, place the one hand on the forehead and one hand on the crown of the head. If you're noticing that there's a lot of anger, if you want to tune into that assertive action, if that SH sound was calling out to you, then place your hands over the forehead and the temples. And if you're feeling like you really need to feed yourself some nourishment, some self-love, if there's been a lot of worry, then place your hands over the forehead, eyes, and cheeks. Maybe you tried all of them and just see what feels best. Wherever you're at, just allowing yourself to relax as fully as you can, to allow that energy to move through the body. A gentle awareness of the breath coming in, filling you up, and making its way out, recycling into the space around you. Finding communion or connection with the space inside and the space around. Seeing if you can Tune into the harmony of the cells when you come into this relaxed state, this peaceful, calm state, which is not sleeping, right? It's different than sleeping. We can be really active or awake, aware, while still maintaining that sense of calm that almost appears as if you're sleeping, but we're conscious and aware. If you have your hands in a hold, you can just give yourself a little massage over the head, waking yourself back up, internally, externally, rotating from the hips. So the toes point in and the toes point out a few times. And just begin to move the body and deepen your breath. Coming back into the physicalness. And then bend your knees and roll over to your side, gently pressing yourself out to a cross-legged seat. Let your hands rest wherever they're comfortable today. Remind yourself of your intention. Notice how you feel following this intention. And then possibly setting a new intention or just reinforcing this one you've already set to carry with you through the remainder of this Thursday. Just think, what do you want to carry with you through this Thursday? The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through this practice. Namaste.